In this video, I outline 10 Experian approved top tips to help you improve your credit score fast. Credit scores are really important and everybody has one. Having a higher score can increase your chance of mortgage, loan or finance approvals, allow companies to offer you their very best interest rates, or just increase the amount of credit that you've currently got. Personally, I never really paid any attention to my credit score until I knew that I was going to have to apply for my first mortgage, and I thought it was about time I got an understanding of my personal credit score, where it was and what I could do to improve it. There are three main credit score providers within the United Kingdom. They are Experian, Equifax and TransUnion. Before you even consider how to improve your credit score, you first of all need to have a look at what your credit score is now. I use credit reference agency Experian, and on their website you can get a free breakdown of your credit score. If you want a more detailed breakdown, however, you can pay a small monthly fee, and this is definitely worthwhile if you're building up to a large purchase like your first mortgage, or perhaps you're looking to get finance on a brand new car. Experian are probably the best place to go within the United Kingdom to check your credit score, because the vast majority of banks and lenders actually use the Experian credit score within their application process. The Experian credit score is fairly simple to understand, from very poor through to excellent. You'll get given a credit score out of 999, with 999 being the absolute best credit score that you can have. While I'm going to give you 10 top tips today to improve your credit score fast, unfortunately it will not happen overnight, and this is the sort of thing that will take a few weeks to a few months to have maximum impact and improve your credit score as much as it possibly can. Some of these tips will be faster acting than others, and some of these you're probably doing already anyway. But have a look through every single one of these tips, and if you adopt and put each of these in place, you'll be able to work towards that excellent credit score of 999 in absolutely no time. Also, before we get going, if you do get any value out of this video, or there's any tips that you haven't heard of before or something that you haven't considered doing already, please do drop a like on the video and let me know which tip you found most useful in the comments. Let's get straight into it then with tip number 1, which is to prove your home address. This might seem like a really simple one, but if lenders can't prove where you're living, they don't like lending money. Funny that. The best way that you can do this is by making sure that you are on the electoral roll within your current residence. Funnily enough, this is one of the things that was holding my credit score back before we got our mortgage. I'd moved from the south coast up to Lincolnshire, and I hadn't yet enrolled on the electoral roll within my new location. So my credit score was pulled back by around 50 points, I think. And after I'd enrolled on the electoral roll at my address, it took about 4 to 6 weeks for this information to then appear on my credit score. And this really did help it to increase by a substantial amount. Tip number 2 is to build up your credit history as much as possible. Lenders don't like being the first person to give you money. So if you haven't ever had credit before, or you've never borrowed any money, these lenders find it incredibly difficult to assess if you're a trustworthy person for them to give money to. They obviously want to make sure that they will get their money back in full, on time, and that you won't have any issues in keeping up with the monthly payments. Therefore, if you haven't ever had any lines of credit before, this is likely to negatively impact your overall credit score. It seems a bit counterintuitive, but that's just the way it is. Some really easy steps to improve this are to take out a credit builder credit card and put some small monthly payments on it every single month. For example, you might decide to put your food shopping or your petrol every month on this builder credit card to increase your credit score and show that you can pay it back in full every single month. Alternatively, you might decide to start paying for things monthly. So for example, you might take out a phone deal, you might decide to pay for your car insurance monthly. And again, this will show the lenders that you are trustworthy and that you will make your payments on time, thereby slowly increasing your credit score over time. This brings us neatly on to tip number 3, which is to open a credit builder credit card or take out your first credit card. Personally, until about 2 years ago, I had never owned a credit card and I paid for everything using my bank account's debit card. But now it's completely different. I spend all of my money on my credit card because I get rewards back for it, and you get perks as well, and you can also build that credit over time. Credit builder cards do tend to have a low limit but a fairly high interest rate. However, as long as we're making sure we're paying it off in full on time every month, we will never ever have to pay that interest rate, and we'll just pay what we've used. And this again will help us to increase our credit score by showing that we can pay back the money that we've borrowed on time every month. Just a slight caveat, when taking out your first credit card, there is a chance that this will negatively impact your score for a short period of time. The reason being that you'll have just been accepted for a new line of credit, and your credit score doesn't like to see multiple applications or multiple new lines of credit within a short period of time. Tip number 4 is to not always close your old credit accounts and to sometimes keep your older ones open for longer. Showing lenders that you can control and manage multiple lines of credit over a prolonged period of time will increase your credit score. This means that if you've got a credit card that is fairly old, rather than cutting it up and not using it again, a better option may be to spend small amounts on it every single month to keep that line of credit open for a longer period of time. This will then of course increase the length of your overall credit history, increasing again your credit score. Tip number 5 is to obviously never miss a payment and make sure that you're making all of your payments on time. Paying a credit account in full on time every month is an excellent way to show lenders that you're a reliable borrower. Really simply, setting up either direct debits or reminders to make sure you pay these off in full every month will ensure you never miss a payment, you never have a black mark on your credit score, and this will again help it to increase. Tip number 6 is to keep your credit utilization low. Your credit utilization is essentially your overall use of the credit available to you. For example, if you've got £5,000 of available credit to you, but you've only used £2,500 of that, you've got a credit utilization of 50%. Usually a lower percentage is deemed positive by lenders, allowing you access to some of the more preferential rates when applying for additional credit. A general rule would suggest that you shouldn't have a credit utilization of over 30%. Now, whilst that's not possible for some people, if you can aim towards that, then you'll be going a long way to helping improve your credit score. Number 6 is to simply check for errors on your report. Small mistakes can seriously affect your credit score and may even result in lenders refusing you credit, which can cause you even more problems further down the line. If you do spot a mistake, the simplest thing you can do is to contact the lender and let them know that you found it. They should then be able to sort this out for you, and while it might take a few weeks to a month to reappear on your credit score, you can rest assured that it will be processed and it will mean that it goes back to the way it should have been. Number 8 is fraudulent activity. We all know that there's lots of fraudsters out there at the moment impersonating people and using people's details for their own financial gain. You may have been subject to a fraud that you are not aware of. So if you ever look at your credit score and it's far below where you'd expect it to be, or if you check it consistently and it drops out of nowhere and you've not done anything, it's always worth having a more detailed look at your score. If you do notice anything untoward, the best thing you can do again is to directly contact the company for more information on exactly why that mark's been placed on your account. Experian do also offer a fraud support service if you feel that you'd need support in this process. Tip number 9 is to limit the amount of credit applications that you make within a short period of time. If you're applying for credit too regularly, lenders may think that you're over-reliant on credit to fund your lifestyle. This, if true, can obviously spiral out of control very quickly indeed. Each application for credit that records a hard search will appear on your credit score for other lenders to see. Therefore, you should try to space out applications over a period of time, perhaps not making more than one application in a 3-month period. Equally, if you know you've got a big credit application coming up, for example a mortgage, it's advisable to not apply for credit in the 3 to 6 months leading up to that point if you can help it. Additionally, if you are ever refused credit for any reason, this again will negatively impact your credit score. Therefore, it can be wise to use sites that show your likelihood of acceptance before making any formal applications for credit. These sites do something called a soft search on you, which does not appear on your credit score, but it can give you a percentage likelihood of acceptance for a range of different products. This should then give you the information that you need to give you the confidence to make that full application for a line of credit. And tip number 10 is to see if you can boost your credit score instantly. By using Experian and connecting your current account, you can allow Experian to see how well you manage your money. They can look through your transactions and assess for positive financial behaviours. For example, consistent saving, paying into an investment account, or just paying your bills on time every month. If you're looking for a really quick boost, this could be the best way to get it. Obviously, these tips are not foolproof and some can be far more challenging to achieve than others dependent on your personal circumstances. But if you know you've got a large application for a line of credit coming up in the next few months, making sure that you actively try to achieve each of these 10 tips will help put you in the best position possible with the strongest credit score, giving you the best chance of getting the lowest interest rates and the best products from lenders. You should now be well on your way to achieving that perfect credit score of 999. If you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a like, and if there's any tips that you haven't considered before, drop a comment down below to let me know which one is a new idea to you. If you want to catch all of my future content on investing, side hustles, and just generally different ways to make money, also make sure you subscribe down below. My next video is going to reveal my entire investment portfolio, including my Vanguard ETF, Trading 212, Free Trade, eToro, and Coinbase. So it's going to be a really interesting one. Last time I did this was in February of 2021, and my portfolio, my entire portfolio, was valued at just under £9,000. So we're now 14 months ahead of when we did that, so lots has changed. So make sure you're there to check that one out. And with that said, guys, thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.